So I went for a run this morning, and I ran down the road, went about 2 miles out, and on my way out, I saw a shop with a bunch of cool cars. I looked in the back, and I saw some jet skis. So I ran up to the door shirtless and flagged some guy down working on some stuff, and he was working on a 2021 side-by-side, an RZR Turbo. I said, "What's the deal with those jet skis out back?" He said, "Oh, they're junk." So I said, "That's my kind of stuff." He said, "You want them?" I said, "Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle?" So I can't believe what he said next. He said, "You can have them." I said, "No shit. Let me grab my truck." So finished the run, ran 2 miles back, and grabbed Sarah, drove over there with the truck, and I wasn't expecting anything to come of it. I actually poked around on my way back and saw that this one, I believe, had the plugs out of it, which is never a good sign. That one looked like it was completely full of water inside the hole, and that one looks decent. So I said to him when we pulled up the second time with the truck, "So do you have paperwork for him?" And the answer is always no. He said, "Yeah, I got titles." He walked in, pulled out 4 titles. 4. So this is a 94 GTX, another twin 94 GTX. I believe they're both 650 Seadoos, Bombardier BRP Rotax engines. This is I think it's a Waverunner. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's a 1990 Yamaha. I popped the hood, if you will, on it, and there's a battery in it, so we're gonna tear that out and see what we got. So the best part is, he said, "Yeah, I got another one at my river house. Come by next week, I'll take you out there and we'll give you that one too." So I can't believe how crazy this was, for free. He said, "Just take them, I want them out of here." So we'll see what we can do with them. It looks like this could be a 4-place trailer, which is absolutely insane. We jacked the trailer up, got it out of there, and inflated the tires. All the tires are garbage. This axle's seized up. I think the brakes are just completely rusted in place. So we're about 1.5 miles away from the house, and I just dragged the thing here. That tire almost immediately went flat, and the axle wasn't moving anyways, so it was high enough where it was just riding on these 2 right wheels and that left wheel, and this thing was up in the air. So we're able to get it home, and I got spare tires lying around. I think it's a 5x4.5, so we will start tearing these things apart. I'm gonna pull the battery out and see what we got on this. All right, so we pulled the battery out of the Yamaha and stuck it on the trickle charger just to see what we get, and nothing. Let's make sure we got it hooked up right. Yep, negative, positive. Bummer. I guess after 7 years of sitting, that'll do it. All right, after being in Alaska for 2 years, we had to relocate to the garage and be out of the sun. It's about 95 degrees here in Missouri. So we got the old Yamaha about to be torn apart. I pulled that little bucket out that covers up the whole drive line. Definitely some water in there. So I believe this is your inlet pipe, and then this is some kind of cover for the drive shaft that goes down this way. That's the front of the drive shaft. It's got that little plastic shroud on it. See if I can shine my flashlight in there. Right down in there. You can see this is a, let's see, 1990 WR650D. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this little cover off. The carburetor should be hiding under there. As you saw yesterday, we pulled the battery out and stuck it on the trickle charger, and it didn't have any signs of life. So we're gonna see what this carb has to say, and then maybe see if we can pull a battery out of one of these 2 in the meantime. And it'd be cool if there's a good battery out of one of the 3 of these. Maybe we can hook it up to this sucker when it's charged and see if it turns over. All right, let's do it. Ooh, way too big. There we go. Here's our carb. Looks like we got 4 8mm in there. Oh, they're lying to us. They're 10mm. Okay, we're back. So, purchased a jump box because I gave mine away like an idiot back in Alaska. And I wasn't getting any juice. I thought, what the hell? So we pulled out a test light and tested it, made sure it was good. Battery says it's fully charged. So I know the jump box is good. Got good connection. I was hitting the old clicker right here. This is the kill switch. And then on top, you've got a, where is it? Right back here, you've got a green start button, but this is also a tether. So I'm gonna prop you guys up, hold that up, and we'll see what happens. Ice cream truck going by. Let's see. Quite enough. Sounds like we're getting some clicking. Well, we're back. It's nighttime. We're only getting clicking from this, so first thing we're gonna do is check out the old starter solenoid. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these. I don't know what they are. I think they're 12mm, 13mm. Got one right there. And then we should have another one right there. Let's do it. All right, fuse box is out. Or I guess I should say disconnected from where it was bolted to the side of the hole. So we're gonna go ahead and pull all these Phillips screws out and see what we got inside. Hopefully it's got no corrosion. So here we are, got the fuse box part. It looks pretty corroded on the solenoid, which is a good sign. So I got some redneck engineering because I don't have a tether here. So I just took some some electric cutters, some wire strippers, and I've got the tether propped up, I should say. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the start button and watch this. So I'm gonna grab my lovely fiance, Sarah, and she's gonna hit the green button for us. I'm just gonna jump this sucker across with the screwdriver. Let's do it. Say hi. Can you record this? Yeah. All right, so your job's gonna be to hit the green button right here, okay? So again, would you like a practice round? Go ahead and hit the green button. You're gonna hear a click. Okay. So I'm gonna jump this like the redneck way. Go for it. Do it.
Like hold it?
Just keep hitting it. Huh. That's not good. Okay. Interesting. Maybe it's a starter problem. Do it again. Alright, you can stop for a second. Let me think. Well, we've got good news and we've got bad news. Pretty sure we got power all the way down to the starter. We're gonna confirm that here shortly, but also pretty sure this bad girl's locked up. I think it's just seized from sitting, rusty. But I think when I grab onto this bad Larry, Should be able to spin this over freely. So I just shot some engine oil down in there because I don't have any mystery oil, and my little homemade concoction of leftover lawnmower engine oil and PB blaster. So we're gonna come back in the morning, and I'm sure this will be exactly the same, and we'll see if we can find a pipe wrench or something to stick on there and give this sucker some persuasion. Success. Okay, so we let some PV blaster sit in there, and believe it or not, I didn't think this was gonna work. I thought this was a bad idea, but I did it anyways. I took this extension, believe it or not, slides right in there, and I took a mallet, just very lightly tapped, and I switched to the other side. I was like, that's not gonna do anything. Well, hang on, I'm gonna give you guys some flashlight. She's spinning, baby. Let's give her some more lubrication because it sounds horrible. Very cool. How exciting is that? All right, we're gonna keep lubing up these walls a little bit. I'm gonna put some 2-stroke oil in there instead of PB blaster because that's what's supposed to be in there. And we'll see if this thing wants to kick over under its own power. Very cool. Okay. Moment of truth. Where's the start button? Nothing. God damn it. All right. Looks like it's a starter issue then, I guess. Let's keep looking. All right, here we are. It's the next day. Got the shop dog over here. We poured some more lubrication down the cylinders yesterday, and it's moving super freely. It's pretty nice. I tossed the plugs in that way I wouldn't drop anything down in there. Should probably jam a rag in this carb too. Anyways, I was tapping on the starter, or I thought it was the starter, trying to free it up the other day, and I realized that was just the intake. The starter is actually underneath. You can see the starter wire right there. The starter is actually down underneath this intake under there. So what I did to get to this stage was just fish the old fuse box out of the way. I popped this little clip off of here and moved it, and the water box was just sitting in there. It's right there. There's 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. And they're 14 millimeters. So I just popped those loose after I loosened up these clamps, and I pulled this header pipe. It's like the water box, or whatever the hell they call it, for the exhaust. Loosened that up, and I actually removed the front end of it too. There's a pipe. This is where the exhaust goes out of that end, right there. And loosened that up and pulled the pipe out right behind it, the hose. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just mess with that connection right there, see if maybe for some crazy reason we had a bad positive ground, see if anything happens. I highly doubt that's gonna do anything. I think I'm gonna end up pulling this intake out of the way, which would be kind of a pain in the ass, but whatever, that's what you get for working on jet skis, right? Nothing. Still the click. All right, looks like we're pulling the starter out. Here's another really good way to determine if your starter's getting power. Oops. Let's see if we can get this sucker to stay on there because I don't have 3 ends. All right, I'm gonna hit the start button. I gotta have this test light touching the starter wire. That's good, so we know it might be the starter issue. I'm gonna tap on that starter again and see if I get any, just happen to get lucky, but I think we're gonna end up pulling it out. All right, forgive me for using the incorrect terminology. This is obviously the exhaust header, and then pipe comes up here into the water box, and you've got your tube that goes out. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the bolts out. I've left this one in here just to support it. And the hard one obviously is under here. The only reason I'm showing you this is because this I think is the easiest way to get to it. Other than pulling this entire header off, if you will, there's, you can see it right here, 1, 2, and then another one underneath nuts, and there's studs that those slide onto. I don't really want to take that horn off, so what I did is there's this little pipe right here that just pops out from under right in there, this little area. And if you pop that sucker out, you can actually get your hand right under here without dropping the clamp. You can get your hand right under there and get a 12mm wrench, and it'll come right out. So cool, let's do it. All right, exhaust header is off. I went ahead, pulled all the bolts out, all 8 of them, and it was just sitting there because the gasket was just holding it on. It looks like I could probably reuse this gasket, worst case, which is pretty neat. I don't think there's barely any gasket material left on there, maybe a little bit, but anyways, it was just sitting there stuck on there because the gasket, I don't think this header's ever been off. It's probably the original starter too. So we're gonna pull the positive cable and negative cable off, and then whatever bolts require it to come out, and then we're gonna bench test the starter, see what we've got. Well, here it is. I managed to snap both starter bolts off, which is classic. So they're both, there's one, the other one I think might have come out with it. Let's see. No, I think I'll be drilling both of those out, which is all too exciting. And then it took a sledgehammer to get the starter out. But let's test the starter, see what happens. Here's my solution. I can get that sucker right in there, drill those puppies out, 1 and 2. Then when the new starter comes, I haven't even tested it yet. I should probably do that before I start finding solutions for the new starter, but I will just run a bolt and a nut to hold the starter in place. So that'll be good. Cool. So things have progressed slightly. If you know anything about what's going on right now, the engine's sideways, upside down. There are the spark plugs. So I went ahead, I tried drilling these suckers out, and the angle was wrong. I didn't want to screw anything up. So I just said, screw it. We're gonna disconnect. I loosened up the 4 body bolts, 4 engine mount, motor mount bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're 12mm, and I marked the marked right here on the back side of the engine, and I marked right there, and in the rubber piece, kept that in place, kept the shims where they're supposed to be. There's only 2 for each, and I am currently going to drill this out after I plug that sucker up, and we might be okay. Cool, let's do it. What do you think? She gonna shine up real good? As we're waiting for the bolts to be extracted, just dropped it off, turned into a whole thing, went to machine shop because the starter bolts broke off. So we ended up pulling the engine last night. I could put a whole clip on how to do that up if you'd like, but for those of you who just want to see this thing run, this is all you're gonna need to see. But let's make this thing shine. All right, after hours and hours of scrubbing, definitely coming along. I used my homemade concoction of Armor All wheel and tire cleaner, that orange bottle, and some soap and a good old brush. It's not perfect, still some green scuzz and leaves and crap I still gotta get out. Probably pull the seat off, but it's looking pretty good for a free jet ski. I'll show you guys what we did with the engine. The starter bolts broke off inside, so I ended up pulling the motor. But we're one step closer to getting this thing on the water, and it looks really good, cleaned up. Holy crap! Sure, just your local rednecks shopping in Lowe's. Got a jet ski engine. Hey, where'd you get the jet ski engines? At aisle 4? Gotta go find some hardware to put the starter back on.